Hello. This video will explain how to properly animal ID on 4hOnline for dogs. Our first dog that we will be IDing is Holly. Here is her information that we will need. However, to get started, we will need to log into our 4hOnline account. Go to 4hOnline.com, select Iowa, input your email, password, your role will be family, and log in. Here is the very first page. Once we log in, we will continue to family. The next will be our member list page. We will be inputting the dog under the youth that this needs to be under. As you can see, both of these youth have an enrollment status of pending. This will need to say active before you are able to ID any animal. I am using a demo account, which is why I will be able to input animals under this pending status. If you have a inactive or pending status, please contact your extension office so that way you can change this enrollment status to active and have a membership ID number. Once both of those say that, go to the youth you want to add this dog to. This page is your personal information about yourself, what grade you're in, what school you go to, etc. We want to go to this Animals Livestock tab right beside Enrollment. And here is where we will add an animal. So for animal type, we will select Dogs, Add Animal. This top part is information you will want to read over, as it is important for many of the items that you will be needing before you begin your ID. Dogs may be dual identified for immediate siblings. We will give an example of that later, but we will start with our first dog. So, Holly is our first dog that we are working on. Colors and markings was that very first field that we need to input. The vet marked her down as yellow. However, this certificate did expire several years ago, as it shows right here. We do know that the certificate is out of date. I could not find a up-to-date certificate for her, but her records do show at the vet's office that she got her latest shot on 4/16/2019. So she is up to date. This just shows as out of date. As I was saying, the vet marked her as yellow, but that was when she was quite a bit younger. As you can tell from this picture, she has turned a much more red color. So I will put red. Animal name, she is Holly. Rabies product serial number, or your rabies vaccination number, you go back to your certificate, and up in the top corner is where it says rabies tag number. That is the number you are going to input. Her vaccination date and the expiration date would also be found on your certificate number. Like I said, this one is out of date, but here is her up-to-date information right here. Vaccination on April 16th, 2019, and it expires 2 years later, so in 2021. Years of training of the member. This member has been in 4-H for 7 years and has done the dog project for all 7 years. So she has received training as a member for 7 years. This dog, as we can see right here, we wrote down that her years in training was also 7 years. This is the dog that this member started out training. So in this instance, years training for the member and the animal will match. Holly is a mixed breed. It also shows that on her vaccination form. She is female. And then we will add her birth date, June 3rd, 2012. We have the option to upload photo of the dog and of the Rabies certificate. As the certificate is out of date, I will not upload that, but I will upload a photo of the dog. It's a very simple process. You go to the document or to the folder that picture is saved at, whether it's on your desktop or in your documents or pictures. Once you find the picture, select it and press open. It will upload. And there is our dog photo. We will not include a rabies certificate. Up here it does not say that the certificate is required. However, it would be a very good recommendation to upload your certificate, especially for state fair entry. So best practice would be to go ahead and upload that certificate if you have it in place. You will need that certificate to fill out this information anyway, so it'll be easy to take a picture and upload it. We will press save, and Holly is done. We will go to our next dog example. This is Zoey. She is another very good girl. Her vaccination certificate is right here. More information about her birth date and years in training. And there is a disclaimer that I will go through when we get to there. So we are going to add another dog. Colors and markings. She is black, gray, and she's got a little bit of a white coloring to her. She's got a white underbelly, gray, right before it turns to the black. As I said, her name is Zoey. We go back to our vaccination certificate to find the rabies tag number up here in this top corner, 8065. Her rabies vaccination date was on May 8th, 2018, expires May 8th, 2020. Instead of typing in, you can also use this calendar to find that date. That is an option as well. The disclaimer was on her rabies. So as you can see, her rabies does expire May 8th, 2020. This will be considered out of date come county fair and state fair time. If you have a situation where your dog will be getting an updated rabies vaccine after you ID your dog, but before the deadline for 2020, that deadline is June 1st. So if you get her or his vaccine updated before June 1st, you will be able to go back and edit with your new vaccination date. Should you get that vaccine done after the ID deadline, or if you forgot to change that vaccine after the deadline, you will need to contact the extension office with your updated certificate. On their screen, from the extension office standpoint, there will be a box right down here with save and cancel and delete underneath it. So it'll be in between the photos and the save cancel options that says manager comments. And in that comments is where your extension office agent will input your certificate information for the updated rabies vaccine. But make sure that you update the rabies vaccine if need be, if it is done before the ID deadline. If it is after the ID deadline and you get it updated, you need to contact your extension office. Okay, we will go back and continue on. Our member, we said, had 7 years of training. However, this dog is not quite as old. She was born in 2017 and has only been training for 2 years. So a mismatch in the year's training is possible when you have a older member with a younger dog. And we will also see another instance later on when we are talking about siblings. Our breed, she is a German Shepherd. Female. And her birth date is October 28th, 2017. I'll show you how this date picker works. So we can easily pick the year and the month. There we are. Upload a photo of our dog. And because we do have an up-to-date certificate, which we will need to re-update later, we will upload the rabies certificate that we do have. So our picture has completed uploading. Now we are just waiting on the certificate. And I misspelled shepherd. There we go. Got my breed fixed. Rabies certificate is uploaded, so we will save. Should I need to go in and change out that rabies, I just pressed edit and it popped back up. The only thing that is different is now there is a delete option. You will not have to do that when you're just changing the certificate and the date. So we would put in our new vaccine date and expiration, and then to change out the certificate, press clear. It'll make sure yes, you want to delete it. Okay, and it is already cleared. You can reselect a new one. Allow it to upload, and then you would press save. And there we are. We have Holly and Zoey both entered for Samantha in the family. We read that top part when we were entering our first dog that said that 4-Hers are able to share a family dog between siblings when you enter them. This is if you hadn't decided who is going to show at the actual fair. Most fairs will only allow one member to actually show the animal, but you can enter it for multiple siblings, so that way you can still decide. We are going to look at the 4-H 202 document found on the Iowa State Extension store, and this is the document for knowing how to properly ID, weigh, and exhibit animals. These are the requirements. Ownership requirements say that all animals have to be owned by one individual 4-H member. However, there is an exception for dogs and horses, but we are talking about dogs. If we go down to the dog section, this says that animals can be identified by more than one 4-H member. Has to be an immediate sibling or step sibling only, so not a cousin or a best friend. It has to be a sibling or step sibling. The only thing is that it has to be both under a 4-H ID or both under FFA. So, it cannot be a 4-H for one sibling and an FFA exhibit for another. It has to be identified both under one organization or the other. So we will go through and identify with another 4-H member. So we have finished Samantha. We'll go back to my member list and input our dogs for Maggie. So we will edit personal information there. We will go to the animals livestock tab, animal type, dogs. So we are able to just add in our animals. If you have this autofill option, it does make it quite easy to fill in. Just got to make sure we put in the right numbers. She was done in 19, and I'll double check that. Yes. For this member, so we talked earlier about how Samantha had 7 years in dog training. Maggie is a 5th grader, and this is her 2nd year in dog training. The animal has received training from her older sister. So the animal has actually gotten 7 years of training. You will find that at fair, animals are not allowed typically to be trained outside. They must be trained by the 4-H exhibitor. Here is your one instance where that dog will have a longer amount of training than the member because of the fact that it is a family dog trained by an older sibling. This is our mixed. Go back and make sure we input her birth date right. And we will upload our photo again. Once you upload these dogs for the first time, the following year you should be able to reinstate them. That will be an option. So you won't necessarily need to fill out every single time for the same dog every year, because this is a dog that progresses every year. When that situation comes, you will need to make sure you update your rabies vaccine if needed. Both your picture and your date inputs. This is our younger member, so only had 2 years, but this dog has only had 2 years of training. Breed, German Shepherd. We will upload our photo, but we won't upload a rabies certificate for this example. Like I said, best practice is to upload a certificate for every animal when you have them on hand. Press save. And now we have our 2 dogs animal added for both of our members. And there is the example of how to properly animal ID your dog on 4hOnline. Thank you for watching.